Hi guys, welcome back to EMILY J Pilates YouTube channel and welcome to your 7-day beginner reformer challenge. So every day of this week I will be posting a video that goes through different workouts that are beginner friendly, giving you loads of tips. In my YouTube videos I do largely assume that people have been to studios or have had their reformers for a long time and have done different classes, but I do appreciate that some people are brand new. I would recommend going to a studio. I can't see you and so I cannot correct your form. I try to give as many cues as possible so that you can correct your form, but it would be no harm in you going to see somebody face to face who can maybe give you those extra tips or even give you those extra tips on your machine at home. Ultimately, I want to make Pilates more accessible to lots of different people, and that is my main reason for my YouTube channel. I wanted to bring this challenge just hopefully makes more of the videos that I have created and will continue to create that little bit more accessible to you as you are feeling more of a beginner. So let's get started. That's the challenge. Each day it will explain what we're going to focus on. So for today, we are going to be doing the fundamental of the reformer machine, which is your footwork. And then we are also going to do some hands in straps so that you can understand how the machine moves when you are using your arms. And the beginning will be how you move with your feet. So let's get started. So in a beginner class, I always say the first springs should be one medium, one heavy and one light. If you want it heavier, you can. If that's too heavy for you, you can go lighter. This is where you just need to understand your own spring setup and find the perfect setup for you. Laying down on your reformer. Now make sure your foot bar is in the right position so that when you lay down, your knee is directly above your hip. If you are too close, scrunch like a baby, you need to pull your reformer bar further away, or you may need to mess about with your stoppers. So my machine has 2 settings for the stopper. If it doesn't have 2 settings for the stopper, you'll have to move the foot bar. If neither work, you could potentially have a machine that's that little bit too small for you. Maybe not the news you're looking for, but unfortunately that is the truth. And I'm trying to be really truthful here because it's so great to have our machines at home and it's accessible to us at home for much cheaper prices. But there are limitations and that is just the way that it is. So let's get going. We're going to come to lay down. So bringing your bum as far down as you can because you want to make sure that there is a gap between your shoulders and the shoulder rests so we're not squidged pushed up against them. Feet come on a hip distance apart. Now we're on the heels. Make sure you're on the squishy part of your heels and pull the toes towards your face. Legs are hip distance apart. So imagine there's an imaginary ball in between the knees. You want to maintain that at all times when you're in your hip distance apart. Knees directly above your hips. Now the tailbone is connected and you want to bring that navel to spine connection as you do in your mat Pilates, and you want to relax the shoulders. Imagine this bottom rib here, you're pushing it down towards the carriage. So your core is engaged, you're snug on your machine and you're ready to go. So you're in your alignment here, you're laying down posture. In Pilates, we inhale through the nose and we push the air to the back and the sides of the ribs, drawing navel to spine so that as we exhale, it comes out of the mouth. And through inhale and exhale, the belly stays low. We don't belly breathe like you may have done in yoga. So inhaling, pushing air to the back and the sides of the ribs, navel to spine connection, lift through the pelvic floor, exhale through the mouth, belly stays low throughout your breath. Inhale to prepare now, and exhale, you're going to push away from the machine, taking your reformer back, and then inhale, bend the knees to bring the reformer back into the stopper. Try not to overly hit your stopper. You will get used to where your stopper is and where you need to stop when you pull it back in. So pushing out and bringing it in. Now making sure you've got control of your machine. So it's a controlled and slow movement, pushing through the heels of the feet. Pushing out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3. Keeping that knee nice and soft as you push out, using your quads to push yourself out and then pulling yourself back in. Core's engaged, you will be getting core work here. If you didn't have your core engaged, your hips would be moving about. But imagine you've got that bowl of water across your hip bones, so in between the hip bones even, and imagine it is completely still. Core's engaged, the hips stay nice and level, tailbone is connected with your carriage, and you're pushing out and in. Lovely, just 2 more. Bring it in, and 1 more. And bring it in. We're going to drop down onto your toes. And I always say a Barbie lift. So remember those Barbie feet, those exaggerated lifts through the heels. Heels lift here. So the toes are on, wrapping around the foot bars if you're a bird perched on a tree. And your heels are lifted. Legs are still hip distance apart. Now make sure that tailbone is still connected. Relax those shoulders. Inhale, pushing air to the back and the sides of the ribs. And as you exhale, pushing out. Heels stay nice and high. And inhale, bringing it back to the stopper. Exhale to take it out, and inhale back into your stopper. So heels stay lifted, knees stay hip distance apart. Don't let them waft in and out. We want them to be nice and strong in that long line. We're using the bum cheeks here, so use the bum, use the back of the legs to help you pull the machine in, and use them to help you push it away. Again, that nice control. Push it out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3. Lovely. Keeping that going, starting to feel a little bit of fire through the calf, so the back of your lower legs. Heels are lifted, so you will be working into that calf. Keeping the butt engaged, helping you to push out. And the back of the legs helping you to pull in for 2 and 1. Bring it all the way back in. This time we're going to take a bit of a sequence. We're going to push out as we exhale. Inhale, lower the feet, the heels, so the heels push under your foot bar. Exhale, lift those heels again, coming right onto the toes. And then inhale, bend the knees to bring it all the way back in. Your heel lift and lower. Pushing it out, dropping the heels, lifting the heels, bending the knees to bring it in. Out, heels drop, heels lift, and we bring it back in. So push through the front of the legs, push through the toes, using a nice stretch here, lifting, and then using the back of the legs and the butt to help you pull back in. Taking it out, lower, lift, bend the knees in. Out, lower, lift, and bring it in. Lovely. Now keeping that stable pelvis, so core is engaged, pull that bottom rib towards, down into the carriage, Here, as you lower and lift, it's tempting to start to lose your control of the carriage, of your alignment, so making sure the pelvis is still, that core is engaged, the shoulders are relaxed, and you're controlling this movement, taking it easy, still pushing out, 2, 3, drop, 2, 3, lift heels, 2, 3, bend, bring it in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, drop heels, 2, 3, lift heels, 2, 3, bend knees, 2, 3, just 1 more, and you're going to hold it out here, dropping your heels and then lifting them, dropping the heels, lifting. Now check there's no overarch in that lower back, keep that tailbone connected, core is engaged, and feeling the fire through the calves, through those lower part of your back of your leg. Sorry, it's all coming out a little bit wrong today. Drop those heels, lift. Drop those heels, lift for 3, lift for 2, lift and 1, lift, bend those knees. Just hug the knees to the chest, just take a little bit of weight out of the ankles. Now, if you are getting toe, ankle discomfort, it's just where you're building up that muscle. So just giving those a little swing around. And this time we're going to bring our feet back onto the foot bar, but heels again, but taking them wide. So as wide as you can on your foot bar. and you're going to rotate in the hips. Now, if rotation of your hips is not for you, if you have sciatica or any hip discomfort or even knee discomfort in this position, you're going to come back to parallel where your legs were hip distance apart. But if you can, you're going to be in your second position. So knees wide, hips externally rotated, and your second toe in line with the knee. So the toes are also pointing out. Sometimes known as a wide frog stance, but I do like to call it second position. Tailbone still connected, that bottom rib pulling down towards the carriage and the ribs pulling in together, and our core nice and tight, shoulders relaxed. Inhale to prepare, and this time as you exhale, you're going to push the carriage away, keeping that external rotation of the hips, knees and the feet. And then inhale, bending the knees to bring it back in. So pushing out and then bending it back in as you inhale. Now imagine there's a beach ball between your thighs, and every time you're pushing that machine out, trying to squeeze that beach ball together, and as you release, releasing that beach ball. Keeping that external rotation will really work into those inner thighs. And again, that control, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, in, 1, 2, out, 1, 2, in. Nice control of that carriage, really pushing through the heels of your feet, squeezing those inner thighs. Hopefully you're starting to feel that. This now is where you may want to add on a spring or drop a spring depending on how much you're feeling this footwork. Sometimes I just feel it instantly, and other times I can go a little bit heavier. So just how you're feeling on any given day. Put the springs on that are making sense for what you want to target today. A bit heavier here would be more strength based. And just 2. And one last one. Bend those knees, bring it in. Dropping down onto your toes, wrapping the feet around the foot bar. Heels connect now, but we've still got that external rotation. Lifting the heels again because you're on the toes. Inhale to prepare, bottom rib pulls down, ribs knit together, core tight. Exhale, take the machine out, squeeze those legs together, try and get those thighs to meet. Inhale, bring it back in, let the knees go nice and wide. Exhale out and squeeze. Inhale to bring it in. Exhale out and squeeze. Inhale to bring it in. Exhale out, squeeze. Inhale in. And that nice control. Taking it out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3. If you are experiencing any discomfort in the hips, knees or the ankles, just come back into that parallel hip distance apart the first time you are on your toes. Take it out for 3, 2, squeeze those inner thighs, and 1. Bend it in. Take your feet into hip distance apart, bring the hands onto the shoulder rests, and you're going to take both knees over to one side. And then inhale, using the core, pulling the legs into the center, and then exhale, taking it over to the opposite side. Big twist through that lower back. So the bum cheek will lift, but as long as the shoulder blades are on your carriage, nice big twist through that lower back. If you want a little bit more opening up of the hips, take the feet nice and wide, and again, take both knees over to one side. Notice you can twist in the lower back that little bit more as well. And then take it over to the opposite side. Keep the carriage nice and closed. We're just having a stretch out of our back and our hips here. You might have heard these be called your windscreen wipers. If you go to a class in a studio, they will call them your windscreen wipers. We do love them. On the mat, you would squeeze the legs together, and you may have heard it be called your hip rolls. And just one more each side. And then bringing it back to center. Dropping down onto your toes again. Legs are hip distance apart, tailbone connected. Relax those shoulders. Core is tight. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to push the machine away, and this time you're going to drop one heel down but lift the opposite knee, and then as you exhale you're going to swap them. And as you inhale, you're going to swap them again. And as you exhale, swap, inhale, swap. So one knee lifts, one heel drops. This is your prancing feet. As you can see, you've got that little prance, but again, we want to be in control of our carriage. So we're not just looking to move the carriage, not really thinking about it, just bending the knees, not worrying. Core is engaged, it's nice and controlled. We're using our calf to lift and lower, lift and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift both of your heels, bend those knees and bring it in. Hug those knees to the chest and just massage that lower back. Take some weight out of the feet. You can take some rotations of your ankles if it feels good. And then gently rocking yourself up to seated. You may just want to turn over to the side, or you can just rock yourself up. We're going to take off the heavy and the light spring, and you're going to have on just one medium spring. Test out which one you think that is for you. We're going to do some hands and straps. So here we will be working on a little bit of strength work because we'll be using our arms, but mostly here we are looking at some nice ab engagement. So making sure that you really have got that space. If you notice you did squidge up to your shoulder rests, make sure you've got a big gap between them, because we may lift our head, and when we lift our head, we don't want them in our way. We want to be able to really lift and get those shoulders up. Legs come into a tabletop position, so knee directly above your hip. The tailbone, as always, is connected. Core engaged, pelvis aligned, hips level. Bringing your little loops into your hands. So a flat palm, always make sure that your thumbs are loose. So you don't want the thumbs to be in and the fingers loose. Fingers come in with the flat palm and the thumbs are loose. Hands are going to come directly above your shoulders. Legs hip distance apart is slightly harder. Legs together slightly easier. Very slightly, not much difference between either. So at any point you do need to pull the knees together, you can. If it's just getting too much and you're feeling too much lower ab engagement and that's making you struggle with your upper body work, then just bend the knees in. Knees in tabletop to begin. You're going to inhale, prepare, slide the shoulders down your back, away from the ears. Exhale, you're pulling your arm down to your hips, and inhale, releasing the straps. So a soft elbow but a straight arm pull here. So inhale, bringing it back above your shoulders, and exhale, bringing it down to your hips. Inhale above and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Gorgeous. So thinking navel to spine, that bottom rib pulls down, the ribs knit together. Core is tight, navel to spine connection, and it's a nice controlled movement here. So if your spring is too heavy and you're really struggling to pull your arms down, then loosen it, make it lighter, If it is too easy and you're almost losing slack, or you're getting slack, in your straps, then you need a heavier spring. But that medium is generally the best for this exercise. Pulling it down and up. Now, if you wanted to add on to this exercise, as you pull the arms down, you can lift your head, neck, and your chest. Now, make sure the shoulders are lifted and make sure you're looking at your knees. If you are not and you're pushing the head forwards and your shoulders are down, you will get neck pain. Lift the shoulders. Release as you inhale, dropping the head, bringing the arms up. Exhale, arms come down, head, neck, chest, shoulders lift. And inhale, arms come up, shoulders, neck, and head come down. Exhale, all comes up, and inhale, all comes down. Lovely. You've just got 5, 4, 3, nice and controlled, up slowly, down slowly, and 1, bring it up, hold it here. Now make sure the shoulders are away from the ears, try and relax here, try not to hold tension. Palms are flat, they're pulling down by your hips. And inhale, prepare. Exhale, extend one leg. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, extend the opposite leg. And inhale, bring it in. Now options here are to come down after each rep. So leg extends, bring it in, and bring everything back for a reset. Bring it all the way up. Extend one leg, bring it in, and release. Second option here would be to bring it up. One leg extends and comes in. One leg extends, comes in, and then release. And the third option is what we started with. So bringing it all up. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, release one leg. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, release. Inhale, bring it in. And not dropping back. Keeping those legs going. You've just got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all in and release it off there. So there was nice little 3 options there that you could have taken. There's always different options, different variations you can take whenever you've got your hands in your straps, just to get that little bit of lower or upper ab engagement. For your next exercise, staying with those legs in tabletop, you're going to pull your arms down so that the elbows and the upper arms are connected with your machine. Shoulders relaxed and away from the ears. This time, you're going to push the hands down towards your hip as you exhale. And when you inhale to release, bending at the elbows so that it's only your lower arms coming up, almost making a stop sign with your hands. Exhale, pulling down, squeezing the elbows into the body. Release by bending the elbows. Exhale, pull the hands to the hips. And inhale, release by bending the elbows. Exhale, pull it down. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull it down. And inhale, release. Now, options again here are exactly the same as what we've just done. So you can lift head, neck and chest as you pull the hands down. When you release, bending at the elbows, releasing the head back down. So that would be your first option. Second option can be to pull down and lift and then extend one leg, bring it in and drop it down. Third option would be to pull, extend one leg, bring it in, extend the opposite leg, bring it in, and then release, bringing the head down. And your final option is to bring those hands down and just to alternate those legs. Now take it slow and controlled. It's Pilates, we really think about our movements. We do that mind to muscle connection. We have our flow. We use our breath to control. So just exhaling out, inhaling, slowly replacing it. Exhale out and lengthen, and then bring it in. Releasing it there. Gorgeous. Hug those knees to the chest or just release those straps back a little bit if you're just feeling a bit stiff, holding a bit of tension anywhere. Obviously, if you've not done these moves before, you may just find you're fatiguing quickly, maybe in the lower abs or maybe in the shoulders, or maybe you're even fatiguing sort of in the abs themselves, which is great because that's what you want to be working on. You're building your core. So just relaxing it off there. And then bringing the legs to tabletop again. Now this time, bring the arms down to your hips. Turn your palms inwards and then slowly move them out to the sides, bringing them in line with your shoulders. So your arms are in line with your shoulders. You really do need space between your shoulder rest and your shoulders here. So if you need to move down your machine, do that now. Inhale to prepare. Now really pull down that bottom rib and knit the ribs together because it's tempting to flare them out here because the arms are out to the sides. So tight core, tight ribs. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull the hands in towards your hips, squeezing the inside of your arms. And inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze it in. And inhale to release. So we've got some nice inner arm work here. So the palms face out, looking forwards, and we squeeze the palms in so that they come into the hips. And inhale out. Exhale, squeeze it in, and inhale out. Now, if you wanted to make this just strength-based and a little bit less core, then you could put a more heavy spring on. On this medium spring, we're really controlling the carriage with our core just as much as we are by pulling our arms in and using our strength. So hands in straps is a great bit of ab work. But if you wanted to, you can make your hands in straps a strength-based exercise. Gorgeous. You've just got 3. Exhale, pull down 2. And 1. And then just release. And hug the knees in, just release those arms back. Just takes a little bit of pressure out of the shoulders. And we've just got one last exercise for our hands in straps, and it is the Pilates 100. Now, hopefully you've done mat Pilates before and you've done your Pilates 100. It's very much similar to that. The setup is the same. So bringing the legs to tabletop, bringing the arms up to the shoulders. Inhale, prepare, core engaged, ribs tight. Exhale, bring the arms down to your hip height. Inhale, prepare, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and as you exhale, rounding up through the upper back, lifting head, neck and shoulders off. Inhale to prepare. You're going to exhale and beat the arms for 6, and inhale, continuing to beat the arms for 4. So it goes like this. So taking that breath, and you just beat the arms an inch up and down. Core is tight and your carriage should be barely moving. The more you're working and controlling with your core, the less that carriage should move. And we do it to 100 beats. Gorgeous. Now let's say we've done 60. So we're going to do 44. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it there. Hold it there. Gently release the head, neck and the chest, and bring the arms back. And release those straps onto your shoulder rests, onto your hooks. If you don't have hooks, you probably just have to let your straps go, or you might both get them around your shoulder rest and just hug the knees to the chest. Just get that breath back. Hopefully doing your Pilates 100 has really helped you to build up a bit of cardio there. Pumping the arms, pumps the blood around, and then just taking those feet nice and wide on the foot bar again, hands onto the shoulder rests, both knees pull over to one side, twisting through the lower back. Inhale to center and take it over to the opposite side. So just taking those windscreen wipers as we did in the footwork. Hug the knees to the chest, and you can rock up to seated or just turning over to one side and coming off to the side of your reformer. We'll stick with that medium spring, pushing the soles of our feet into our shoulder rests, and then placing the hands on shoulder distance apart. Keeping the knees under your hips, push your machine away and bring the chest down towards the springs. So we normally call this cow in our reformer stretch, but you probably look more like you have seen puppy pose look like in yoga. Exhale, rounding the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, and tucking the pelvis, and just bringing the carriage in an inch into your cat. And then inhale, pushing your chest down towards the springs and coming into your cow. Nice stretch through the shoulders. Pull them away from the ears. Really extend that spine. And then tucking the pelvis, rounding as you exhale, bringing the knees in an inch into cow, cat. I always get that mixed up. And extending the spine, pushing the chest down into cow. Couple more times each way, using that breath. Exhale to cat. And inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And inhale to your cow. Exhale, rounding up and bringing the knees all the way to your stopper. And just bringing yourself onto the side of your machine. Nice big stretch up to the ceiling. Bend over to one side. Nice lateral stretch. Oh, it's the best. Inhale to center and exhale over to the opposite side. Inhale to center. Bring the hands together down through center. And give yourselves a well-deserved clap, guys. Congratulations, you've made it on your first day of your beginner reformer challenge. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope it's been really informative, and I hope that it is really helping you to get to grips with your own machine. Tomorrow we have footwork to start. It will be much speedier, and also some feet in straps. So again, it will be some of our ab work, but we'll get a nice little bit of strength work for the legs as well. So see you tomorrow, guys, for 7-day challenge day 2.